Hi, kings and queens. Previously, we learned about the steps a scholar should follow in order to make predictions. Remember, the prefix pre means before, and the Latin origin dict means to say. So, to predict means to say that something might or definitely will happen before it does. While predictions are usually based on some sort of fact, observation, experience, or scientific reason, a prediction does not have definite certainty of occurring. Something that someone predicts may or may not actually happen. Today we're going to learn about how to make an inference. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to use evidence from text combined with your own background knowledge in order to infer something about what you've read. The word inference is a noun, and it means the act or process of reaching a conclusion about something from known facts or evidence. It refers to a thought process. An inference is usually made about something with a degree of certainty, based on facts like statistics, calculations, observations, or generalizations. So, prediction versus inference. Well, one of the reasons why you might choose to use one word over the other has to do with time. An inference is made when a conclusion is reached from known evidence, but an inference does not necessarily have to be about future events. It's just a conclusion about something that is not currently known or understood that can be reached by some means of reasoning. Keep in mind, an inference must be logical and it has to make sense. Usually, when future events are involved, the word prediction is used rather than inference because the future is always unknown. For example, one can make an inference that the boy with untied shoes will trip and fall, and this technically would be the correct use of the word. There is logical evidence and reason telling us that this is likely. However, the word prediction is more likely to be used because it's still in the future. We might say in this situation, I predicted that the boy with the untied shoes would fall, and since I see him crying, I can infer that he did in fact fall down and hurt himself. In this example, prediction is used for the future event and inference for the conclusion based upon observable facts. That fact being the boy's crying. Good readers both infer and predict. When you infer, you read between the lines, fill in what is not written on the page, and an inference comes from in you. A prediction can be a part of inferring, but is either right or wrong, and can be checked for accuracy upon reading. Again, good readers infer to figure out what the author is saying, look for clues in the pictures or words to find deeper meaning, that's a part of both predicting and inferring, and good readers check if their inference and or prediction is correct or needs revising. You know how I know this is going to come easily to many of you? It's because inferences are things that we make every day of our lives. For example, if we wake up and see tree branches on the ground and lawn chairs turned upside down, we might infer that it was windy last night. If a friend comes to school on crutches, we infer that he or she had some kind of accident and got injured. If we have a pizza party at school, and at recess someone has a big greasy stain on the front of their shirt, we infer that that person probably dropped his or her pizza. Remember when I said earlier that an inference can be based on facts such as observations? Well, one exercise we can do to strengthen our inference-making skills is to look at a picture and make inferences based on our observations, meaning what we see in that picture, because the inference is the thing that we don't see, or in the case of reading, the thing that the author doesn't write. Take a look at this picture. Try to infer what you think is happening or has happened in this picture. Then I'll model for you making an inference by thinking out loud. I observed two sets of footprints, one larger than the other, headed in the direction of one another, with the set of footprints on the left becoming further apart the closer they get to the set on the right. That, combined with what I know about feet and my knowledge of how when someone or something runs, their gait opens and their steps become further apart, I can infer that a large animal has run towards a smaller animal. How about now? What can you infer? And now? Remember, good readers continuously check to see if they need to revise their prediction or inference. You see, this illustrates the importance of collecting all of the important pieces of evidence in order to form a sound inference. But why might two people who have made the same observations make different inferences? Right, because different people possess different background knowledge. Here's a simple equation you can use to remember the process for making an inference. It's what I read plus what I know equals what I infer. Use quotes from the text and note page numbers for future reference. Use background knowledge and prior experiences from your own life. And then put two and two together to make a conclusion about the story. Next, we'll be following these steps to complete a graphic organizer and make an inference about what we read. Ryan was looking forward to sleeping over at his friend Robert's house. Though they had been classmates for a while, the two had only recently become good friends. Ryan packed up his sleeping bag, a pillow, and a few of his favorite toys and games, and then his mom dropped him off at Robert's. Robert met Ryan on the porch, and the two did their secret handshake and started playing right away. First, they played pirates in Robert's tree fort. Next, they played ninjas in the driveway. Then it started getting dark, and they went inside of Robert's house. As soon as they walked in the house, Ryan's eyes started getting red and itchy. He saw a big orange cat sitting on the couch. Then he started sneezing uncontrollably. "I'm sorry, Robert. It's been a lot of fun, but I have to call my mom." Why do Ryan's eyes get red and itchy when he walks into Robert's house? First, in order to understand what the author's communicating to me, I must locate clues or evidence in the text. And what I read was, he saw a big orange cat sitting on the couch. Next, I must combine that with my own background knowledge. And what I know is that many people are allergic to cats, and a typical allergic reaction includes itchy eyes. To assist me, I referred to these helpful sentence starters and was able to make the following inference. When I read that he saw a big orange cat after his eyes became itchy, it made me realize that Ryan is allergic to cats. Why does Ryan want to call his mother? So, what I read was that he started sneezing uncontrollably, and then he said, "I'm sorry." What I know is that people with allergies must not remain in the presence of what causes their allergic reaction. So if you asked me to make an inference about why Ryan called his mom, my response to you would be, the story said that Ryan was sneezing uncontrollably, and then he said, "I'm sorry," which makes me think that he is calling his mom to ask to be picked up because he can't stay due to his allergies. After we read this next passage together, it'll be your turn to make inferences using our inference organizer. Crack! Thunder struck and rain poured. Max stared blankly out the window, trying to contain his emotions that raged like the weather. He was beginning to lose it. Dropping the kite from his hand, Max broke out into full sobs. His mother comforted him. There, Max. We'll just find something else to do." She began to unpack the picnic basket that was on the counter and offered him a sandwich. Max snapped, "I don't want a sandwich." A flash from the sky lit up the living room. Boom! Mom sighed. What was Mom planning on doing today? What in the text supports your inference? Why is Max upset? How do you know?